Welcome to Calm Mind English. Some days do not look difficult from the outside. You wake up, do your work, answer messages, speak to people, make small choices, and come home. Nothing dramatic happens, but your mind feels strangely heavy, as if you have been carrying something all day without seeing it. This kind of tiredness can be confusing. You may ask yourself why you feel so drained when the day was normal. You may look back and think there was no big problem, no serious argument, no clear reason to feel this way. But a normal day can still take a lot from your mind. A normal day asks you to pay attention again and again. It asks you to control your tone, manage your face, answer politely, remember details, move between tasks, and keep your emotions in the right place. These small efforts do not always feel heavy in the moment, but they collect quietly. Imagine someone coming home after work. They take off their shoes, put their bag down, and sit on the edge of the bed. The room is quiet, but their mind is not. They are not thinking about one clear problem. They just feel full. They remember a message they forgot to reply to. They remember a sentence they said too quickly. They remember a task they did not finish. They remember the look on someone's face during a conversation, even though it may have meant nothing. None of these moments are serious by themselves, but the mind does not always measure weight by size. Sometimes it measures weight by how many things stayed open. During the day, you may move from one small demand to another without a pause. A phone call ends, then an email arrives. A conversation finishes, then another decision appears. A task is completed, but another one is already waiting. Your mind keeps shifting. It changes focus, adjusts emotion, reads people, checks time, and tries to stay useful. This is mental work, even when your body is not moving much. That is why you can feel tired after sitting at a desk. Your legs may not be sore. Your hands may not be aching. But your attention has been used again and again, and attention is not endless. There is also a quiet pressure in ordinary life to seem fine. You may not want to look irritated. You may not want to sound tired. You may answer people with a calm voice while a part of you wants silence. This effort is not fake. It is part of living with others, but it still uses energy. A normal day can also make you hold back many small reactions. You may feel annoyed but stay polite. You may feel worried but continue working. You may feel bored but keep going. You may feel disappointed but decide it is not worth talking about. Each small moment asks for control, and control has a cost. By evening, your mind may feel heavy, because it has spent the whole day managing things that seem too small to name. The weight is real, even if the events were ordinary. This is why rest can feel difficult. When you finally stop moving, the mind has space to show what it has been carrying. The heaviness was not created in the evening. The evening only made it visible. You sit down, and suddenly the quiet feels loud. You open your phone, not because you truly want to, but because silence feels uncomfortable. You scroll because your mind wants something easy to hold. But after a few minutes, you may feel even more tired. The problem is not that you are weak. The problem is that your mind has been working in ways you did not count. Many people only respect tiredness when it comes from visible effort. If they worked long hours, lifted something heavy, or dealt with a clear crisis, they allow themselves to feel tired. But when the day looks normal, they judge the tiredness. They think they should have more energy. They think they are being lazy. They think something must be wrong with them. But mental heaviness after a normal day is often a sign of accumulated attention, emotional control, and unfinished processing. It is the result of many quiet demands, not one obvious disaster. Think of a desk covered with small papers. One paper is easy to move. Two papers are nothing. But if small papers keep landing there all day, the desk becomes crowded. At the end, you may not know where to start. The mind can become like that desk. It holds a question, a reminder, a social moment, a small worry, a plan for tomorrow, a feeling you did not express, and a decision you delayed. Each one is light, but together they create pressure. This is why the sentence, "Nothing happened today," can be misleading. Something did happen. You move through a world full of small signals and small demands. You adjusted yourself many times. The first step is not to force yourself to feel better. The first step is to understand the heaviness more honestly. When you come home feeling drained, you can ask a simpler question. What did my mind have to carry today? Maybe it carried too many decisions. Maybe it carried too many conversations. Maybe it carried noise, tension, speed, or uncertainty. Maybe it carried the need to stay calm when you did not feel calm. This question does not solve everything at once, but it changes the way you see your tiredness. It turns self-judgment into observation. And observation gives the mind a little space. You do not need to explain your whole life every evening. You do not need to find one dramatic reason for your mood. Sometimes the answer is smaller and more ordinary. Your mind feels heavy because it has been open all day. It has been taking in information, holding back reactions, tracking tasks, reading people, and trying to keep life moving. When the day ends, the mind does not instantly become empty. It needs time to close what has been left open. A normal day can be heavy when there was no real pause inside it. So when you feel this kind of tiredness, try not to attack yourself for it. Look at it with quiet accuracy. Your mind is not broken because it feels full. It is responding to a day that asked for more than you noticed. And once you see that, you can begin to unload it more gently. By evening, the mind often begins to replay things. It may not replay the biggest part of the day. It may choose something small, almost random, and hold it for too long. A short conversation, a message without warmth, a task you almost finished but left behind, a moment when you were not sure if you sounded strange. These things may seem too small to matter, yet they return when you are trying to rest. This happens because the mind likes closure. When something feels unfinished, unclear, or emotionally open, the mind keeps it near the surface. It does this not to punish you, but to protect you. It wants to understand what happened, prepare for what might happen next, and reduce uncertainty. But the modern day gives the mind too many half-closed moments. You may start one task, then stop because someone asks a question. You may answer a message, then wait for a reply. You may hear a tone in someone's voice and wonder if they were upset. You may plan to clean something, send something, fix something, or decide something, but the day moves on before you complete it. The mind does not always forget these small openings. It stores them. Then, when night comes, they rise up. Picture someone brushing their teeth before bed. Their body is doing a simple task, but their mind is somewhere else. It returns to a conversation from lunch. They hear their own sentence again. They wonder if it sounded rude. The person knows it probably was not serious. Still, the thought stays. Then another thought arrives. They remember a bill. Then they remember a form. Then they remember that they have to buy something tomorrow. Soon the mind feels crowded, but none of the thoughts are clear enough to solve. This is one hidden reason a normal day can feel heavy. The mind is not only tired from what happened, it is tired from what remains unresolved. Unfinished things take up space. Even a small task can create mental weight when it has no clear place to go. A half-replied message, a document waiting for one detail, a decision you keep delaying, a drawer you keep seeing but never organizing. These small things do not always need immediate action, but if they stay unnamed, the mind may keep reminding you in vague ways. You may feel restless without knowing why. You may feel guilty without a clear mistake. You may feel pressured even after your work is done. That pressure often comes from invisible open loops. An open loop is any thought, task, or emotion that the mind believes is not finished. It does not have to be important. It only has to be unresolved. The mind keeps asking, what about this? What about that message? What about tomorrow morning? What about the thing you forgot? What about the tone in that conversation? What about the mistake you might have made? When there are too many open loops, the mind loses its sense of ending. The day ends on the clock, but not inside you. This is why some people feel heavier on quiet evenings than during busy hours. During the day, movement covers the pressure. At night, the pressure becomes easier to feel. The mind finally has room to speak. But it does not always speak clearly. It may speak through irritation, numbness, scrolling, snacking, or the desire to avoid everything. These are not random reactions. They are often signs that the mind is trying to escape a crowded inner room. The solution is not to finish every task before sleeping. That would be impossible. Life always leaves something undone. The more useful approach is to give unfinished things a safe place outside your head. This can be very simple. You write down 3 things that are still open, not 20, just 3. You name them without solving them. Reply to the message. Check the schedule. Decide tomorrow after breakfast. When the mind sees that something has been named and placed somewhere, it can relax a little. It does not have to keep shouting reminders from the background. The same is true for emotions. If a conversation bothered you, you may not need to analyze it for an hour. You can simply name it. That talk felt uncomfortable. I do not know why yet. I can look at it tomorrow. This sentence gives the feeling a place to rest. The mind becomes heavy when everything has to stay inside at once. Thoughts, reminders, worries, and small emotional signals all mix together. The weight becomes unclear because the parts are not separated. Naming things separates them. When you say, this is a task, this is a worry, this is a feeling, this is only a memory, the mind begins to see shape again. The heaviness becomes less like fog and more like objects on a table. Objects can be moved. Fog cannot. There is also another hidden cause of mental heaviness: emotional residue. Emotional residue is what remains after a moment has passed. You may have handled the situation well. You may have stayed calm. You may have smiled and moved on. But a small feeling can stay in the body and mind. Maybe someone interrupted you. Maybe someone ignored your effort. Maybe a plan changed suddenly. Maybe you felt rushed all day. You did not make a big issue out of it, and maybe that was the right choice. But the feeling still existed. If you never give that feeling even a small moment of recognition, it may stay as heaviness. Recognition does not mean drama. It does not mean you must confront everyone or turn every emotion into a deep problem. It means you quietly admit what was present. That was tiring. That was uncomfortable. That took more energy than I expected. These simple sentences help the mind complete the experience. The mind does not need every feeling to become a story. Sometimes it only needs the truth to be noticed. A normal day becomes mentally heavy when many experiences are handled but not processed. Handling means you got through it. Processing means your mind has understood where to place it. You can handle many things and still need time to process them. This difference matters. Many people think, I already got through the day, so I should be fine. But getting through something is not the same as being clear inside. The mind may still need a slow transition. This is why small evening rituals can help, not because they are magical, but because they tell the mind that the day is being closed. Washing a cup, writing a short note, turning off bright lights, preparing clothes for tomorrow, putting the phone in one place. A ritual is a signal. It tells the mind, we are no longer collecting. We are ending. Without a signal, the mind may continue to work as if the day is still active. The hidden cause of mental heaviness is often not one painful event. It is the quiet buildup of open loops, emotional residue, and unclear endings. Once you understand this, the heaviness becomes less mysterious. You can stop asking, why am I like this? You can ask, what is still open? Then, gently, you can begin to close one small thing at a time. The body can be home before the nervous system is home. This is one reason rest does not always arrive when you sit down. You may leave work, close the door, change your clothes, and lie on the couch. But inside, your system may still be prepared for demand. The brain does not switch states only because the clock says the day is over. During a normal day, your nervous system watches for signals. It notices sound, movement, facial expressions, timing, messages, traffic, tasks, and possible problems. Most of this happens quietly. You do not have to think about every signal consciously. Still, the body is responding. If the day is full of small demands, your system may stay slightly activated for many hours. Not panicked, not in crisis, just alert enough to keep going. This alertness can feel useful during the day. It helps you answer quickly, move faster, remember what matters, and stay ready. But if it does not come down in the evening, it turns into heaviness. The mind feels tired because the body has not received a clear message of safety and completion. Think about the muscles in your face. During the day, they may hold a polite expression. Your jaw may tighten while you focus. Your shoulders may lift slightly when you feel pressure. Your eyes may stay fixed on screens for long periods. These physical patterns are small, but they send signals back to the brain. A tight body can keep the mind alert. A tired body can make thoughts feel darker. Poor sleep can make small problems feel larger. Too much screen light can delay the feeling of night. Too much noise can keep the brain scanning. Mental heaviness is not only a thinking problem. It is also a body state. A person may believe they are mentally weak when they are actually overstimulated. They may believe they are emotionally unstable when their body has simply been activated too long. They may believe they need motivation when they first need a slower nervous system. This does not mean every feeling is physical, but the body is always part of the feeling. After a normal day, your brain may be carrying sensory load. Sensory load means the amount of information your system has had to receive. Lights, voices, notifications, traffic sounds, screens, temperature changes, movement around you, and background conversations all count. You may not remember these details clearly, but your nervous system processed them. A grocery store after work can add more load. Bright lights, carts moving, people crossing paths, music, choices, prices, lines, and the pressure to remember what you need. It may seem like a simple errand, but your brain is still sorting signals. Then you come home and wonder why you feel heavy. The answer may be that your system has had no real low-input space. Low-input space is time when the brain does not need to respond much. Not a screen full of short videos. Not loud background content. Not multitasking while pretending to rest. A true low-input space gives the nervous system fewer things to track. For many people, the evening never becomes low input. Work ends, but notifications continue. Conversations continue. Screens continue. Decisions continue. The body sits down, but the brain keeps receiving. This is why scrolling can feel relaxing for a few minutes, but draining afterward. It gives quick distraction, but it also gives constant novelty. The brain keeps shifting attention. It keeps reacting. The nervous system may not feel safe enough to slow down. There is also the role of stress hormones. During the day, the body may release chemicals that help you stay alert and capable. This is normal. But if the day has been rushed, uncertain, noisy, or emotionally demanding, those systems may remain active longer. You may feel wired and tired at the same time. Wired means the system is still alert. Tired means the energy is low. Together, they create a strange state. You want to rest, but you cannot settle. You want quiet, but quiet feels uncomfortable. You want sleep, but the mind keeps moving. This state is common after normal days because normal life often asks for constant readiness. Another factor is decision fatigue. Every choice uses a little mental energy. What to answer, what to eat, what to do first, what to ignore, what to say, what to buy, what to postpone. By evening, even simple choices can feel too much. Someone may stand in front of the refrigerator and feel irritated because they cannot decide what to eat. The problem is not the food. The problem is that the decision-making system is tired. When the brain has made too many small choices, it looks for the easiest path. This is why routines help. A routine removes unnecessary decisions. It gives the brain fewer doors to open. Sleep also changes the weight of the mind. When sleep is short or poor, the brain becomes more sensitive to stress. Small issues can feel larger. Emotional regulation becomes harder. Attention becomes weaker. The mind has less space between a thought and a reaction. After a poor night, a normal day can feel much heavier than usual. This is not a character problem. It is a capacity problem. Capacity changes from day to day. You may handle one ordinary day well and feel crushed by another ordinary day because your body started from a different place. Maybe you slept badly. Maybe you skipped a meal. Maybe you were dehydrated. Maybe you had too much caffeine. Maybe your body needed movement. The mind is not separate from these things. A heavy mind often needs basic physical support before deep reflection. Water, food, dimmer light, a short walk, a warm shower, stretching the neck and shoulders, sitting without a screen for a few minutes. These are not small because they are simple. They are simple because the nervous system understands them. The body does not need complicated language to receive safety. It needs signals, slower movement, lower light, less noise, a predictable routine, a clear end to work, a place to put the phone, a few minutes where no one is asking anything from you. These signals tell the nervous system that the day is ending. If your mind feels heavy after a normal day, it may not need more thinking. It may need fewer inputs. It may need the body to soften first. You can try this gently. Before analyzing your mood, notice your jaw. Notice your shoulders. Notice your eyes. Notice whether your breathing is shallow without forcing it to change. Notice whether your body is still acting like it has to be ready. This kind of noticing is not dramatic. It is practical. A mind that feels heavy may be connected to a body that has been bracing all day. When the body begins to release, thoughts often become less sharp. The day may still have been tiring, but it no longer feels like a threat. The mind starts to understand that it can stop scanning. The normal day is over. There is nothing else to manage right now. That message may need to be sent through the body many times before the mind believes it. There is a quiet problem in many modern homes. They do not clearly tell the mind when the day is finished. The same phone is used for work, messages, entertainment, news, reminders, photos, bills, and escape. The same room may hold a laptop, laundry, children's toys, dishes, papers, and a glowing screen. The same chair may be used for working, eating, scrolling, and trying to relax. The mind receives mixed signals. It enters the home, but the environment still says, continue. A heavy mind is often supported by a space that has no clear boundary. Work follows you through the phone. Worries sit on the table. Notifications appear while you are eating. Unfinished things stay visible, even when you do not plan to deal with them. This does not mean your home must be perfect. A perfect home is not the goal. In real life, spaces are used, shared, and sometimes messy. But the mind needs at least one sign that the day has shifted. Imagine someone coming home and dropping everything near the door. Their bag stays open. The laptop is still inside, but not fully away. The phone keeps lighting up. A cup from the morning is still on the table. A jacket is on the chair. The room is not terrible, but it feels unsettled. The person sits down and tries to rest. But everywhere they look, there is a small reminder. This is not only clutter. It is unfinished information. The brain reads the environment. It sees objects and turns them into tasks. The bag says, work. The cup says, clean me. The phone says, check me. The laptop says, maybe there is more. The papers say, decide later. Even when you ignore them, the mind may still register them. This is why physical space can affect mental weight. Your environment can either add open loops or help close them. A useful evening space does not need to be beautiful. It needs to be clear enough for the brain to understand what is happening. One small table can be enough. One clean corner can be enough. One chair without work items can be enough. One lamp instead of bright overhead light can be enough. The mind does not require luxury to settle. It requires signals. A signal can be simple. Put the work bag in the same place every evening. Close the laptop fully. Place the phone on a shelf instead of beside your hand. Clear one surface, not the whole room. Turn on one softer light. Put tomorrow's necessary item near the door. These actions are small, but they create a boundary. They tell the mind, this part is done. Modern life often removes natural endings. In the past, some work ended because the place changed, the tools stayed behind, or the light disappeared. Now many tools follow us everywhere. The day can continue inside a pocket. That is why you may need to design endings on purpose. This is not about discipline in a harsh way. It is about reducing friction for the mind. If your phone is beside you, the easiest action is to pick it up. If the laptop is open, the easiest thought is to check one more thing. If every object is visible, the easiest feeling is pressure. The environment shapes behavior before motivation appears. You do not need to fight your mind every evening. If your space quietly supports rest, you can make the better action easier and the draining action slightly harder. Put the charger away from the bed. Leave a notebook where your thoughts usually appear. Keep a small basket for things that need to be dealt with tomorrow. Use a simple closing routine before sitting down. The goal is not to become a different person. The goal is to stop asking a tired mind to make too many decisions. A heavy mind needs fewer choices. There is also the environment of sound. Some homes are full of constant noise, even when no one is speaking. A video plays in the background. A device hums. Notifications make small sounds. The television stays on. The brain may not treat this as rest. It may treat it as information. Silence can feel strange at first if your system is used to constant input. But a little quiet, even for a few minutes, helps the mind stop reaching outward. You can begin with a gentle version. Not total silence for the whole evening. Just one small pocket without extra sound. Wash a cup without a video playing. Sit for 2 minutes before opening your phone. Walk from the door to the kitchen without checking messages. Let the room be simple for a short time. These small pauses teach the mind that not every empty space must be filled. Light also matters. Bright light keeps the brain more alert. Screen light keeps attention active. A softer evening setting can help the body understand that the day is moving toward rest. Again, this does not have to be perfect. You are not building a sleep laboratory. You are giving your nervous system clearer cues. The same is true for visual clutter. If cleaning the whole room feels impossible, choose one visible area. The mind often responds to what it sees first. A clear bedside table. A clear kitchen counter. A clear chair. One area can change the feeling of the whole evening. This is because the brain uses the environment as a map. If the map looks crowded, the mind feels there is more to do. If one area looks finished, the mind receives a small sense of completion. Completion is calming. Many people try to rest in environments that keep reminding them of effort. Then they blame themselves for not relaxing. But relaxation is harder. when the space is still speaking the language of work, tasks, and interruption. You can change the language of the room slowly. A closed laptop says, "Not now." A dim lamp says, "Evening." A written note says, "This will not be forgotten." A phone placed away says, "You do not have to respond every second." A cleared surface says, "One thing is complete." These are quiet messages, but the mind hears them. Your environment cannot solve every emotional problem. It cannot remove all stress. It cannot make life simple by itself. But it can stop adding unnecessary weight. When your mind feels heavy after a normal day, look around without judgment. Ask what your space is asking from you. Is it asking you to continue, check, decide, clean, respond, and remember? Or is it helping you close, soften, and stop? You may not be able to change the whole room. Change one signal. One object put away. One light changed. One notification silenced. One surface cleared. One notebook opened. Small environmental changes are powerful because they do not depend on feeling motivated. They meet you where you are, tired and human, and they make rest a little easier to enter. A normal day becomes less heavy when the evening has a shape. The mind needs to know where the day ends. Your space can help draw that line. A heavy mind does not always need a strong solution. Sometimes it needs a gentle ending. After a normal day, it is easy to think you must fix your mood quickly. You may search for the right video, the right routine, the right answer, the right explanation. But a tired mind can become even more tired when it is treated like a problem to repair. Some evenings are not asking for transformation. They are asking for unloading. Unloading is different from escaping. Escaping tries to run away from the weight. Unloading slowly takes the weight out of your mind and places it somewhere safer, smaller, and more visible. You can begin with one simple question. What is still with me from today? Do not ask this question like an investigation. Ask it like you are opening a bag after coming home. You are only checking what is inside. Maybe there is a small worry. Maybe there is irritation. Maybe there is disappointment. Maybe there is a task you forgot. Maybe there is no clear feeling, only pressure. Whatever appears, name it simply. This was a long day. That conversation stayed with me. I have too many small things open. My body is tired. I need less input tonight. The mind often becomes lighter when it does not have to explain everything perfectly. A clear name can be enough. Then choose one small closing action. Not a full reset. Not a new life plan. One action. Write tomorrow's first task on paper. Wash one cup. Put your work item away. Prepare one thing for the morning. Turn off one notification. Sit somewhere without the phone for a few minutes. Change into clothes that tell your body the day is over. Small actions are not weak. They are believable. A tired mind trusts small actions more than big promises. When you try to change everything at once, the mind may resist. It knows you do not have the energy. But when you choose one small closing action, the nervous system can follow. The goal is not to become perfectly calm. The goal is to reduce the pressure by one layer. Think of the evening as a room with too many lights on. You do not need to turn them all off at once. You can turn off one light, then another if you are able. The room becomes softer by degrees. The mind works in a similar way. One written note can turn off the light of remembering. One clear surface can turn off the light of visual pressure. One honest sentence can turn off the light of emotional confusion. One quiet minute can turn off the light of constant input. This is how recovery often begins. Not with a dramatic decision, but with a small reduction. A useful mindset shift is to stop asking, "Why am I so tired?" when nothing happened. Instead ask, "What kind of tired is this? Is it decision tiredness? Is it social tiredness? Is it sensory tiredness? Is it emotional tiredness? Is it unfinished task tiredness?" Different tiredness needs different care. Decision tiredness may need fewer choices. Eat something simple. Wear something comfortable. Follow a basic routine. Social tiredness may need quiet, not punishment, not isolation forever, just a space where you do not have to perform, explain, or respond. Sensory tiredness may need lower light, less sound, and no fast screen movement for a while. Emotional tiredness may need one honest sentence, and permission to stop pretending inside your own room. Unfinished task tiredness may need a list, not immediate action. The list tells the mind, these things have a place. When you understand the type of tiredness, you stop using the wrong tool. You stop trying to motivate a nervous system that needs quiet. You stop trying to analyze a body that needs sleep. You stop trying to distract a mind that needs closure. This is practical kindness. It is not soft in a weak way. It is accurate. A heavy mind becomes worse when it is judged. Judgment adds another task. Now you are tired, and you are also criticizing the tiredness. The mind has to carry the day and the shame about the day. This doubles the weight. You can remove that second layer. You can say, this is heaviness. It makes sense that it is here. I do not need to solve my whole life tonight. That sentence gives the evening a boundary. Tomorrow may still have tasks. Life may still be complicated. But tonight does not have to carry every future problem. One common mistake is using the evening to measure your whole life. When you are tired, everything can look more serious. A small delay can feel like failure. A quiet mood can feel like proof that something is wrong. A normal difficulty can feel permanent. Do not let the heaviest hour of the day make the biggest conclusions. Evening thoughts are often tired thoughts. They may contain some truth, but they are not always complete. They may show you what needs care, but they may not show you the full picture. So when the mind becomes heavy at night, choose not to make major judgments about yourself. Choose maintenance instead. Maintenance is simple care that keeps you steady. Drink water. Eat if you have not eaten. Write down what is open. Lower the light. Put one thing away. Let the day become smaller. There is strength in maintenance. A life does not only improve through big changes. It also improves when ordinary evenings become less damaging. If every normal day ends with self-criticism, the mind learns to fear rest. But if a normal day ends with a clear, gentle closing, the mind learns that it can recover. This recovery may be quiet. It may look like sitting near a small light and folding one shirt. It may look like writing 3 lines in a notebook. It may look like placing the phone across the room and letting the silence feel strange for a minute. At first, it may not feel powerful, but the mind notices repetition. It learns from small signals given consistently. Over time, the evening becomes less like a collapse and more like a landing. A landing is not dramatic. It is controlled. It is careful. It gives the weight somewhere to go. You can build that landing in a simple way. First, name what feels heavy. Second, place unfinished things outside your head. Third, reduce one source of input. Fourth, do one small action that tells the day it is closed. That is enough for tonight. Not because everything is solved, but because the mind has been given a clearer ending. A normal day can still be tiring. You may still feel quiet. You may still need rest. But heaviness does not have to become confusion. It does not have to become self-blame. It can become information. It can tell you that your attention was used. Your emotions were managed. Your body stayed alert. Your space held too many signals. Your mind needs a softer ending. This is a simple truth. The mind becomes lighter when the day is allowed to end. So tonight, choose one small closing point. Put one thing down. Turn one light lower. Write one sentence. Let one unfinished thought wait until morning. The day does not need to be perfect before you rest. It only needs a place to stop.